Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Coach Katie. I've been on my manifestation journey for the past 7 years. In 2017, I was in the worst depression of my life, had been depressed practically nonstop since 2003, and was addicted to coping with harmful substances. I had no friends, I was broke, I gained 80 pounds, and my apartment was a health hazard. My doctors were very concerned about me because even therapy and medication didn't seem to be helping. I've been through more ups and downs in life than I could ever show in just one video. But almost 2 years after I started manifesting, my life had completely turned around. I had truly learned how to be happy for the first time in my life. I no longer used illegal substances to cope. I finally made some friends. I was making more money. I lost 80 pounds and I moved into my dream apartment. I learned how to manifest in a way that made sense and was sustainable. And I wasn't relying on therapy or medication to save me. And I no longer use therapy or medication at all today. My life keeps getting better and better all the time. And I haven't experienced depression in the past 4 or 5 years. I manifested meeting the love of my life, getting married, starting a family, buying my dream house. I manifested 2 of my dream cars. I got my dream body, and I even started my very own 6-figure business. Today, I am happier and healthier than I've ever been, and the future keeps looking better and better. Here's 7 years of manifestation knowledge that's going to help you get what you want in a realistic way and keep your results long term. But before we begin, I do want to give a few disclaimers. This is not intended to be medical advice. Therapy and medication can be vital, especially when you're first starting your journey. Always talk to your doctor first. Everyone starts from a different place, so whether my story sounds easier, harder, or exactly like yours, your results depend on you. But hopefully, this video will help provide you some useful information no matter where you're starting from. This is not a quick fix. It's not a magic spell, and it does take actual work and practice to manifest massive life changes. And these tips will help you start making those changes that you want to see for yourself. I'm going to jump straight into the video because there is a lot to cover and there's no time to waste sugarcoating or giving disclaimers for every tip in the video. I'm just going to be honest and direct about my experience. So take what resonates with you and leave the rest. You can really make incredible changes like this too. And I'm rooting for each and every one of you. Tip number 1, what you do during the day matters. The average person is awake for 15 hours a day, and we are constantly thinking, feeling, speaking, and choosing actions or inactions. Yes, manifestation techniques can be great, and we'll talk about those more later. But they take up a very small portion of the day, or at least they should if you're not doing them obsessively, which doesn't work anyways. What you do with the majority of your time is what matters the most. You can't expect to say affirmations for 10 minutes a day or journal once at night and manifest everything that you want. You have to be mindful of how you're conducting yourself over the other 14 hours and 50 minutes that you're awake. When you start paying attention to what you think and feel, you can steer yourself in a better direction. When you are mindful of your words instead of complaining about what you don't have or how hard manifesting is, you will see a difference. When you start intentionally choosing actions and stop freezing or procrastinating out of fear, you're gonna get more of what you want. Manifestation is not something that you just do a few minutes a day. It is a culmination of what you do all day, every day. Tip number 2, don't overdo it. Being mindful of how you operate during the day is important, but it doesn't need to be exhausting or require you to be hyper fixated on your every thought. It means you should be more conscious of how you're operating on a day-to-day basis and the habits that you're so used to doing that you don't even realize you're doing them anymore. Making small, gradual changes to your day so that you don't get overwhelmed. Choose one habit that is holding you back and make healthier choices to fix that one area first instead of trying to change your whole life overnight. For example, if you notice that you often complain about money, and obviously that is speaking against you manifesting more money, just start to notice when you start to complain about money again and cut it out. You don't have to lie or talk about how rich you are when you don't feel that way at all yet, but just stop complaining about being broke. Or if you notice that you keep getting stuck in thought cycles of worrying about money, notice when you start to worry, realize that worrying isn't helping you get more money anyways, and turn your attention towards something else as best you can. I promise this gets easier with practice. If you keep saying that you want to start a side hustle, but you never take any action towards that goal, your small step can be to do some research and plan how to actually get started. These are small, realistic changes that you can focus on one at a time to start moving in the right direction. Making these small changes will help you shift in other ways without even trying. You'll notice that the less you openly complain about being broke, the less you think about being broke. If you used to think about being broke for 10 hours a day, perhaps you'll only think about it for 5 hours a day when you stop talking about being broke all the time. I know this isn't glamorous, get rich overnight advice, but that stuff doesn't work anyways. So start by taking these small steps and build your momentum in the right direction. And with a little time and practice, you're going to get results. Tip number 3, take accountability, not blame. When I first started manifesting and I realized that everything I had experienced in life was at least a little somewhat within my control, and all my struggles weren't just random bad luck, I felt guilty. I made the mistake of blaming myself for some of the awful things that happened to me and letting that regret eat me up inside. I regretted a lot of my choices. I wished I had learned how to manifest sooner, and I wondered what would have happened if I had done something different in the past. But I'm here to tell you that not only does blame and regret get you nowhere, it's also not true. It's not your fault, even if you did manifest something bad in the past. We can't do better until we know better, and we are always doing our best. Knowing what I know now, I would never go down some of the same dark paths of addiction, obesity, and others that I traveled down before. I would never again put myself around bad people who hurt me just because I was lonely. But I didn't have the same knowledge and experience back then. I didn't realize that I had access to better options. I just accepted what I thought I deserved. And blaming myself for that isn't fair, and it doesn't help me move forward. Instead, I use those experiences to identify what I can do differently in the future to not go down those same paths again. What fail-safes and resources do I have access to that can help me if I ever start to feel helpless and out of control? What healthy habits can I stick to keep up my mental health? I'm glad I went through all those awful things and made some poor choices in the past because I learned so much from those experiences, and now I can even help other people struggling with those same things today. I can offer support and understanding because I've been there too. At the end of the day, you need to separate yourself from your choices. You can recognize that your past choices weren't productive without turning that into blame and self-hatred. Use them as valuable learning experiences instead of something to feel bad about. Tip number 4, manifestation techniques are overrated. Y'all might hate me for this one, but most of the manifestation techniques out there are absolute trash. Anything promising to change your life overnight and fix all your problems effortlessly is a scam. Anything telling you to just do one small thing to get everything in life is completely fake. Things like the whisper method, the pillow method, writing on bay leaves, doing one little journal entry to change your entire life. Also, things like vision boards, magic spells, crystals, or manifesting at certain phases of the moon. Robotically affirming until your head falls off, setting an intention, or making a wish to the universe. None of these singular things are going to change your life overnight. They're just going to keep you stuck in the same cycle of trying to figure out which new method you should use every week and wondering why it didn't work. Wondering if you're doing it wrong, or if it's not meant to be, or if manifestation just doesn't work for you. But manifestation is very real. It's just a lifestyle. It's not a fad technique that you can do a couple times and fix all of your life's problems. It requires you to actually look at yourself and make some real sustainable changes to your inner being and show up differently in the world. I know, it sounds great to just write your crush's name and put it under your pillow. And when you wake up, they magically fall in love with you and they're the perfect partner forever and ever. But let's be real, that's insane. And the reason that those fad methods blow up on social media isn't because they work, it's because most people are kind of lazy. They don't actually want to do the work to look at themselves and make small, sustainable life changes that add up over time and give them everything they've ever wanted. They get sucked in by this promise of manifesting a perfect life overnight with no effort at all. And chasing after these cheap, ineffective methods is just going to cause you to burn out and give up, which is actually way harder and more effort than manifesting in a realistic way, like I speak about in this video. When I stopped doing these silly little social media trend methods, I stopped feeling so frustrated and lost about manifesting. Things actually started to make sense, and I actually got the results that I wanted and kept them long term. That's why I teach practical manifestation based on science. You can still use techniques from time to time, but do techniques that actually work. I'm talking techniques that are scientifically proven to change the landscape of your mind. Things like visualization, scripting, practicing gratitude, and doing affirmations that actually work and don't require you to repeat the same sentence 10,000 times. Yes, that's actually advice that real coaches give. So stop wasting your time and start doing things that actually work. Tip number 5, there is nothing to change but self. The biggest mistake most people make when manifesting is that they try to change their circumstances. They try to manifest more money, make someone love them, or force a situation to change. That's the complete wrong way to go about this, and that's why you're not getting results. Manifestation is not about changing anything outside of you. It's about becoming the version of you who has what you want. When you become a wealthy person, you will have a lot of money. When you embody love, people will love you. And before you can become the person who has those things, you have to become a person who is healthy and stable enough to have the things that you want. You're not going to manifest a happy, healthy relationship if you hate yourself and have severe trust issues. Even if you did manifest a relationship as that unhealthy version of you, it would fall apart because you don't have a solid foundation to nurture a healthy love for someone else if you don't even love yourself. Before you try to manifest anything outside of you or become a person who has material things and circumstances, you need to have a certain level of well-being. You have to learn how to regulate your own emotions. You have to stop negatively reacting to every little thing. You have to stop feeling hopeless and helpless and instead own your true power. That's how you stop self-sabotaging every good thing that happens to you. And I know that's not sexy and it's not what most people want to hear, but let me tell you, having more money isn't going to make you feel better if you haven't already learned how to make yourself feel better. Getting in a relationship isn't going to make you feel less lonely and anxious if you haven't learned how to work through those feelings on your own already. Taking the time to work on yourself before you try to get a bunch of money and find your soulmate is so essential. And I promise you, your future self will thank you for doing this the right way instead of trying to manifest a bunch of things to fill the void. Tip number 6, take breaks. Manifestation shouldn't feel exhausting. We are manifesting all day, every day anyways. But you definitely shouldn't be doing hours of manifestation techniques or robotically affirming all day long. You shouldn't be obsessing about having perfect thoughts or feeling good all the time. Like I said earlier, this is about making small, sustainable changes that you can build on. You're not going to get what you want faster by trying to rush the process. Some people do get the hang of manifesting as a lifestyle more quickly than others, but the only person you should compare yourself to is you. If you're feeling better than yesterday, you're doing amazing. If you had fewer negative thoughts today, you're doing amazing. If you stopped yourself from complaining about money one time more than you did yesterday, you're doing amazing. And you're doing enough. Keep going at a pace that feels steady and sustainable. Manifesting should feel either calm or exciting, but never exhausting. If you feel exhausted, you're doing too much. You're trying too hard, and that's not going to work anyways. Trying is the opposite of having. And remember, the only thing you should be trying to do anyways is being mindful of yourself and taking small steps to become the version of you who has what you want. That's it. If it feels like too much change at once, slow it down. You're actually going to get what you want faster and easier by being more patient. Tip number 7, excuses are key. It's very common to have excuses as to why we're not getting what we want and why manifestation isn't working for us. But you'll find that with a little reframing and self-reflection, those same excuses that were keeping you stuck can actually be your ticket forward. One thing I help people with a lot is manifesting their exes back. And after years of doing this, it's become really easy to recognize how people's excuses are actually the same answers they've been searching for. For example, people will use the excuse, I can't manifest my ex back because they blocked me, not realizing that this really means they themselves are blocked. They are feeling blocked by a lack of trust, a lack of hope, or holding on to resentment. Or maybe they feel blocked because they don't actually believe they can have a happy, healthy relationship with their ex. The block can be different for everyone, but it's true for anyone in that situation. So the answer isn't to repeat over and over, this won't work because I'm blocked. This won't work because I'm blocked. The answer is to seek out that block within yourself and heal. When you do that, your ex will automatically unblock you without you even trying. Another example is people who want to manifest more money, but they feel jealous and angry towards people who have the wealth that they themselves want. They make excuses like the only way to get rich is by being a bad person, or that rich person must have rich parents. That's the only way you can get money. Those are excuses for why you can't get money and actually have nothing to do with that other person. You believe that making money is immoral, and you believe that it's impossible to actually earn money without having rich parents. And those beliefs are stopping you from getting rich. So whatever excuses you are making as to why you can't get what you want are actually the key to manifesting what you desire. Reframe those excuses in a healthy way, and you're going to start seeing results pretty quickly. Trust me, I know it's a lot easier said than done. I used to have nothing but excuses, and they all seemed very valid. But once I let them go and started thinking differently, life got a lot better really fast. Tip number 8. The 5 pillars of manifestation. If you're feeling confused and overwhelmed and you're not sure how to make sense of all of this, just remember, there are 5 pillars of manifestation that I absolutely live by. Your beliefs, thoughts, feelings, words, and actions. These 5 pillars are how you manifest everything. If you want to manifest something, look at how you're showing up in these 5 areas and identify the differences between where you're at in those areas now versus where you would be in those areas if you had what you wanted. If you want to manifest love, but you currently believe that every man or woman cheats, how could you possibly manifest love? The version of you who is in a happy, healthy relationship believes that their partner is faithful. Start shifting your beliefs to support the idea of a healthy relationship. If you want to manifest your dream body, but you keep thinking about how much you hate the way you look, start consciously choosing to appreciate something about your body now. It can be something small, like I appreciate that I have legs that allow me to walk, or I like the way my toes look. It doesn't really matter where you start, just start. And keep making those small, sustainable changes to shift into better thinking habits. I go a lot more in depth about these 5 pillars in my other videos and paid programs, so check those out at the links in my description and on the other videos on my channel. Tip number 9, gratitude. This one might sound like a broken record, but gratitude is so important when manifesting because it's not just about getting what you want in the future, it's about appreciating what you have right now. Think about it. Manifesting is just becoming the version of you who has what you want, right? Well, the version of you who has what you want will appreciate their life the way it is. And listen, no matter how hard life may be right now, you still have things to be grateful for. You have the ability to hear or see this video, or maybe both. You have access to the internet, which means you probably have electricity and maybe even a phone or computer, or both. You're alive, so you also have access to food. You probably have at least one person in your life that you care about. Maybe you have a job or you've gotten to college. Maybe you even have some money in your bank account. Maybe your pillow is really soft or your blanket is really warm and fuzzy. Maybe your hair looks really nice today. No matter what is going wrong in your life, a lot is going right. And the more you focus on the things that you have to be grateful for, the more you will manifest even more things to appreciate. I know it's easy to get stuck in this idea of not having what you want yet, but look around you. I'm sure you wanted all the things that you have now before you actually got them. You wanted a candle that smelled really nice, so you bought one. You wanted a car to get around, so you saved up and bought one. You wanted that shirt that you're wearing, and now you're wearing it. Take more time to appreciate what you have, and not only will you get more cool stuff, you'll also feel more content with what you already have. Tip number 10, Opposite results are opportunities. Yep, that's right. If you're trying to manifest something and you keep getting the opposite of what you want, it's actually a good thing if you make it that way. See, you can't necessarily control every little aspect of your whole entire life, but you can always choose how you respond. So when you get a result that's the opposite of what you wanted, you can make the choice to not freak out. You can decide to take a few deep breaths, feel your emotions without losing control, and analyze what happened. There's no such thing as mistakes anyways, only lessons. Choose to review the situation and try to pick out where things could have gone wrong. Remember not to make excuses or to blame yourself. Just think logically about what happened and why things turned out this way. If you went on a date and it didn't go well, it's not because you suck and everyone hates you and you're going to be alone forever. Really break down what happened. Were you acting super shy because you were afraid to say something wrong? Were you completely coming off as desperate because, well, you hadn't had a date in a while and you were scared to mess things up? Did you agree to go on a date with somebody you didn't really like in the first place just because you were lonely? Think of what you can do differently next time without judging yourself or others. Focus on what you can control and make a plan that is realistic for the next time you're in this situation. Tip number 11, have a manifestation routine. Okay, so I know I talked about how techniques are not that important, but they really do help if you do them right and you don't overdo them. Using techniques that are scientifically proven to change the landscape of your mind can really set you off on the right foot. And yes, the way you carry yourself throughout the day is still what matters most. But doing techniques is a good way to set yourself up in the right direction. I recommend doing techniques as close to sleep as possible. That means right when you wake up and right before bed. Plan some time, even just a few minutes, to focus on manifesting techniques to open and close your day, and you're going to see a big difference. Yes, the techniques will help you manifest, but even more importantly, they're going to set the tone for your day and help you stay on track. It's a lot easier to think positive thoughts when you start your day with a positive meditation or saying some positive affirmations in the mirror. And it's a lot easier to wake up in a better mood when you spend some time visualizing what you wanted the night before. So even though techniques alone are not going to magically create your dream life for you, they are going to help you a lot. And if you want some help creating your own manifestation routine, check out my Ultimate Manifestation Techniques guide at the link in my bio. Tip number 12, don't neglect your health. In manifestation, we talk a lot about positive thought and how to feel good, but it's just as important to take care of your physical well-being. What you eat and your activity level have a massive impact on the rest of your life. If you eat a bunch of processed foods, you're going to feel the negative effects of that choice. Whereas if you make it a priority to eat fresh, whole foods, you're going to have more energy, feel more positive, and be less addicted to eating junk. If you use food to fill an emotional void, make a plan and talk to a mental health professional about how you can heal that void in a healthy way. As a former binge eater myself, I know that eating tons of ice cream and cheeseburgers only makes you feel good for a few minutes, if that. And you spend the rest of your day feeling guilty and sluggish because of it. It's a temporary fix that is setting you back more and more each day. And there is help out there if you feel like you might have a food addiction to unhealthy foods. The same goes for staying active. It's so important to get fresh air and movement. Your body adjusts to what you ask of it. So if you're used to just being sedentary, you're going to feel really tired the first few times you try to exercise. It's your responsibility to yourself to push through that uncomfortable feeling and create a healthy movement routine. And again, it's okay to just start small. Just take a walk for 5 minutes or stretch your arms and your torso if you can't walk. Remember, movement is available to you in some way, so take advantage of it. And if you find yourself coming up with excuses about why you can't possibly be active in any way and why you can't possibly eat anything but McDonald's for every meal, look back at tip number 7. Tip number 13, progress, not perfection. I feel like we've been dancing around this tip for the entire video, but you should aim for progress, not perfection. Manifestation is not about changing your whole life overnight. It isn't about doing things perfectly the first time. It isn't about beating yourself up if you get something wrong. It is about making small, sustainable improvements that move you closer to your goal. Stop making it seem like the end of the world if you aren't seeing results as soon as you want it. Remember to learn from where you're at now, appreciate what you've got, and keep moving towards where you want to be. Make a big deal out of small wins, and your small wins will get bigger with time. Tip number 14, rely on consistency, not motivation. Like many other things in life, the way to success doesn't depend on you feeling motivated. It depends on you showing up consistently. Because here's the hard truth. You're not always going to feel motivated. You're not going to wake up every single day with tons of energy and a drive to manifest everything you want. Some days, you're going to wake up tired, and you're going to have doubts and negative thoughts, but you need to find a way to stay on track anyways. We do this by creating consistent habits that we can stick to even on our off days. This means having boundaries for ourselves and safety nets so we don't go completely off course just because we don't feel good one time. Maybe you have a boundary like you only allow yourself one cheat meal per week, or you don't go more than 2 days without getting some fresh air, or you don't skip yoga class more than once a week unless you're sick or injured, not just because you don't feel like doing it that day. This may mean setting boundaries with other people as well, like asking for space when you need it or reaching out for support when you need it. It could mean saying one nice thing to yourself every morning, even if you feel like crap. It could mean saying no to plans that start after 8 p.m. to help make sure that you have enough time to wake up and do what you want the next morning. Decide which safety nets help you meet your goals and stick to them no matter what, even if you don't feel like it one day. Make sure your safety nets are realistic so you can actually use them, and they're not some idealized rules like never eat another dessert again for the rest of my life and never think another negative thought. Remember, progress, not perfection. Tip number 15, what you focus on grows. You may have heard this before when manifesting, but what you focus on grows. That means whatever you give your attention to is what you're going to get more of. So if you want to manifest more money, but you keep focusing on how broke you are, that money is never going to come. You have to realize that it's completely possible to focus on something that isn't actually here yet. For example, I want you to recall one of your favorite childhood memories. Whatever it is, picture it in great detail. See how you're able to focus on it even though it's not actually happening right now? Here's another example. I want you to picture a purple unicorn. Imagine how tall the unicorn is. What color is its horn? How soft is its fur? What does it smell like? What sound does it make? Can it fly? Is it friendly or kind of scary? Can you ride on its back? See how you can imagine all of those details even though there is almost certainly not a purple unicorn in front of you right now? And in fact, you probably have never seen a real purple unicorn right in front of you in your whole entire life. Yet, you can focus on it. So surely, you can focus on what it's like to have money, even if you don't have money right now. Make a conscious effort to spend more time focusing on what you want instead of focusing on the lack of it. As you can see, there is a lot that goes into manifesting your dream life. It isn't as easy as buying a special crystal to magically make all your dreams come true, but it is very possible and reasonable to actually manifest what you want if you do it right. What I want you to do now is choose just one of the 15 tips that I listed in this video and try to implement it in your daily life for the next week. You don't have to do it perfectly. Just make it your goal to implement one of these tips in your life this week more than you did last week. And I promise you that you're going to notice a difference at the end of those 7 days if you just do your best. It may be a small difference at first, but even that is a great sign. It means this is working for you. And if some difficult feelings come up as you apply what you learned in this video, that's a good thing too. Those difficult feelings are coming up to the surface so that you can process them and heal. It's way better than keeping them stuck and having them block you subconsciously. Make sure you have a support system in place and take this as slow as you need to. Then, the next week, I want you to try to focus a little bit more on that one tip and get even better at applying it. Do this again and again until you feel confident with that tip and it feels like it's become a daily, natural habit for you. Then, come back to this video and choose another tip to apply in the same process. Repeat this until you've successfully applied all 15 tips in your life. This can take time, and that's okay. It took me 7 years to get where I am now, but that's why I'm sharing this information with you, because it doesn't need to take 7 years. I'm giving you this information to save you tons of time and make this process a whole lot easier. Trust me, if I can go from where I was 7 years ago to where I am today, literally anyone can do this. And I believe in you so much. I know you can be successful. I really hope this video has been helpful. Thank you so much for watching. You can find more helpful resources linked in the description of this video. I offer courses, ebooks, meditation, and even manifestation goodie boxes mailed straight to your door. So go check them out and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. I'm Coach Katie with Manifest Best, and happy manifesting!